Hello, this is IST 302 Team 6 Final Project Presentation. Team 6 consists of Chris Snow, John Sneed, Tim Rimby, and myself, Justin Gerardo. The topic we will be presenting is on project communication management. The need for communication. Perhaps the most underrated piece of good IT project management is communication. Expert studies have shown that poor communication can be the greatest threat to the success of an IT project. This issue is furthered by the reality that many IT workers are not properly trained in communication skills. It is imperative that IT workers be properly trained as communicators, as they will often interact with many different stakeholders on a project. To sum it up, good communication equals good results. Keys to good communication. Focus on group and individual needs. Every individual has preferences for communications. Introverts and extroverts, for example, may respond differently to praise and/or critique. It is important for a manager to study these traits in their employees and act accordingly. Additionally, managers should be aware of their own communication styles. Formal and informal methods of communication is a key factor in good communication. For example, not only is an employee expected to submit status reports to their project manager and/or stakeholders, as a formal example, but it is expected and welcomed that the employee would have informal communication with said parties also. This helps nurture a stronger relationship between employees and upper-level management. Distributing important information in an effective and timely manner. Most people have a tendency not to want to report bad news. However, it is important not to report bad news at the last minute. Also, it is important not to communicate too much information. One must balance between communicating appropriate information in a timely manner. Why is communication management important? According to Ma Yun-Fung of Mimos Berhad, the most crucial success factor in project management is effective communications to all stakeholders. Research also recognizes that effective communication leads to more successful projects and in turn enables organizations and their employees to become stellar performers. Although each project has the capability to succeed, not all do. On average, 2 in 5 projects do not meet a project's original goal or intent, and 1 out of 5 projects is unsuccessful due to ineffective communications. Planning communication management. Since communication is one of the main components of a successful project, every project should include a detailed communications management plan. This plan guides communication throughout the duration of a project and should address the following items. Number 1, stakeholder communications requirements. Number 2, information to be communicated, including format, content, and level of detail. Number 3, who will receive the information, who will produce it. Number 4, suggested methods or technologies for conveying the information. Number 5, frequency of communication. Number 6, escalation procedures for resolving issues. Number 7, revision procedures for updating the communications management plan. And last but not least, a glossary of common terminology. Sample stakeholder communications analysis. The chart on the right is a part of a sample stakeholder communications analysis that shows which stakeholders should get particular written communications. It is important to display the contact person and deadline for each separate communications requirement. This provides stakeholders with a high-level view of how to, how often, and in what format to communicate with various stakeholders. Managing communications. Proper communication is a key principle for any project manager, but managing communication can be a daunting task. Several methods for good communication have been created over the past few decades to help expedite the communications process. Examples of this are using email, televideo conferencing, and applications such as Slack, Unison, and Huddle. It is up to each project manager to use the tools best appropriate for his or her team and project. Performance reporting. Performance reporting is an important aspect of communications and is generally distributed to stakeholders detailing the project's recent activity, budgetary constraints or liberations, and detailed timelines and explanations of the next steps in the process. Performance reports also serve as a measure of progress achieved and can address any problems or roadblocks a project has encountered. Typical performance reports include a cover page, a narrative description, and appendices added on as needed. Cost estimate. Ensuring effective communication can cost little to nothing depending on the technology available to the organization. In the slide, there are a few costs that may be involved to improving communication. These are communication training or seminars, installing new software for instant messaging or email, or installing video teleconferencing equipment. Listed in this slide are the references we used during this presentation. Thank you all for listening.